Okay, oops. Yeah, share. Can you guys see that? Okay, everybody, thumbs up. Okay, wonderful. So I'm gonna just take that down. So I love sharing this. This is something new that I've been really incorporating into how I share, because really what it is, your story, you heard my story, you have your story, right? We all have our own stories. What I'm going to help you share is most of our stories are based off of how we are surviving and how can we thrive, not only for ourselves, but our families. And this is really key. This is literally what Instagram looks like right now. It's family, it's friends, it's, you know, money in the bank, it's, you know, fresh, delicious foods. It's, oh my gosh, I'm going out for a beautiful run in the country right now, you know, that looks like Hawaii actually, and I'm vacationing with my family, and everything looks amazingly delicious, because that is what we really strive for. We strive for a better quality of life. We strive to have those memories made with our families. And really, we want to do that with ultimate health behind us, right? But let's take a look at sometimes what real life feels like. It's the stress of, oh my gosh, I can't get through school right now, you know, or the overwhelming debt over my head because of my, you know, my financial burdens of putting myself through school. It's, I don't have enough time right now, and I'm just gonna have to run the kids through McDonald's line just this last time, I promise. It's just this last time. I'm gonna get better at making, you know, choices at home. It's the world environment that we're faced with. And this is our social media outlet right now. It's what is going on. We're so, whether or not we realize it or, you know, actualize it in our own different ways, we're really, you know, taking on those subtle energies that are depleting our systems. At the end of the day, this lady on the right hand corner, I mean, that's what I feel like at the end of the day sometimes, like, okay, I'm just gonna lay here. And, you know, you just process. And then of course, there's so many of us that are still like, we're on our phones and on our computers trying to figure out this new paradigm of and shift of the way our world is really going. So what's really happening inside is, you know, there's a depletion of our energies. I learned the other week through our company, it was really beautiful. Did you know that we consume, our brain consumes 20% of our daily intake of calories? That is huge. So all of these things, all these subtle nuances, these of stress that we don't really necessarily pay attention, want to give, you know, too much thought to, maybe scroll at the end of the day, they're really impacting our stress levels on a cellular level. And that again is why we're here. So this is my lovely quote. I cannot get past this. This is what I feel like I've been doing all my life as a Hawaiian health practitioner. Let's build wellness rather than treating disease, guys. It costs so much less than actually the aftermath of actually, you know, treating disease. Not only cost-wise, let's not only think of how it affects our pocketbook, but how it affects our own health, to be treating somebody that is just riddled with cancer or that's, you know, facing you know, a certain type of illness. We as caregivers, and we have a caregiver talk that's coming up next Tuesday, strongly urge you to listen into. We as caregivers, you know, take on that responsibility. So the wage that we pay towards treating disease is much more than hitting our pocketbook. So why I got so fascinated and interested in this is that I've been studying epigenetics for quite some time, and I love and live by this fact that 97% of our genetic code can actually be changed through the choices that we make. And what we're doing is we're looking at changing our epigenetics, our genetic expression, so that we can have a healthier expression through what's called biohacking. Now, we can biohack our bodies through things such as all these listed on the right. Meditation, we're going to talk about diet and nutrition today. Environmental factors are huge. Ways to de-stress, such as sleep quality, that's a huge biohacking component. And believe it or not, relationships and community building. So even with all of this Zoom, you know, it's nice to connect, but that physical connection, they're doing studies where they, you know, a HeartMath Association is actually putting, you know, relationships and actually testing it and documenting how our genetic expression and actually our immune systems can be boosted through a sense of actually belonging to a tribe, making a greater difference in your world and in your life around you. And truly, I mean, you know, that's kind of your little girl, little guy, you know, dreams is, how am I going to impact the world? What's going to be my legacy? Well, let's look at how we do this through our health span first. Like I said earlier, I knew that I couldn't do more if I didn't feel better first. And we're going to be talking about that. So feeling better, we're going to look at health span, we're looking at lifestyle, we're looking at environment, and then we're looking at ultimately how all of these, again, affect our genetic expression. So we talked a little bit about stress, that underlying stress. Guys, this is the villain. This is the crooks. We're being robbed. You know, we need oxygen to breathe. Guess what? Oxygen also is one of the theories of aging. So what oxygen does, and we're going to look at that visually in a second here, is it causes what's known as oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is an imbalance between the production of free radicals and numerous daily assaults, due to our body's inability to actually detoxifying them quick enough or neutralize them. And, you know, people don't really realize that even just the fact of eating causes an imbalance in our free radicals. And we'll look at that in a second. The cell phone towers that we're talking about, you know, the Wi-Fi, too much exercise, too little exercise. I mean, you name it. There's so many millions of assaults. It's actually known to be sextillion amount of assaults that are happening on our bodies every single day. So when we look at this here in this picture depicted of an apple compared to our cells that we're God-given, that were given to us at birth. So we start to actually age from the age of about 20, our cells start to actually, you know, be affected by all of this. We're not in that, you know, little kid days where a cut doesn't really mean anything. It just goes away. You forget about it right away. You're not emotionally or physically really, you know, attached to that, you know, smaller invasions. So what happens is that you have this on your left side, nice, beautiful, healthy apple, a nice, beautiful, happy, normal cell. Oxidation, you just cut the apple real quick, you leave it on the counter, guess what happens to it? An imbalance of those oxygen molecules actually start to attack us, what's called through free radicals. Free radicals start to want to pair up with the cells, but they start to cause damage within the cells. That's depicted here. What we don't want to happen, guys, is this right column. We don't want to see the demise of our cells so great that they're either dying off, which typically shows up in cognitive issues, or they're splitting off in abnormal rates where we're seeing a whole lot more cancer in our society. It's just, it's so hard to witness when you're dealing with that. And I'm somebody who is, you know, being a witness to that now with not only one person in my life, but several people in my life. So what we have our hands on, guys, is called activation. And that's what we're going to be talking about, is activating our cell signaling pathways to talk to our cells so that we can actually turn on our body's ability to create our own antioxidants at millions per second, so we can maybe just stay ahead of all of these assaults that are happening. So let's look at that. We're doing that, and this is when I went to that meeting, that first initial meeting. This is the key word here, guys: synergistically blended. Okay, because like I said, I had them all in my cupboard, or I was growing them in my garden. I was not about it. I was like, I got this. I know that. I understand that. 5 simple herbs that are synergistically blended actually have 1,800 times more effective by actually creating those antioxidants that we talked about, and ultimately activating our immune systems. So who are we? We're LifeVantage. I literally, like, I want to jump up for joy every time I think of sharing this and how proud I am and what goosebumps I get, because when I joined this company, when joined arms with my business partners and decided to represent this company, I was skeptical at first. I was not all about it. But when I understood that we were at the forefront of nutrigenomics and that I could belong to a tribe of people that was actually helping to better our communities just through sharing knowledge like we're doing right now, definitely got behind it, and I was really proud. It was in 2005 that it really kind of hit mainstream. We've been a company up and running and thriving and actually at the forefront of nutrigenomics for the last 11 plus years. So, and how we're doing that again is through biohacking. So if you take, you know, nutrigenomics, the word, it's really just the breakdown of the word itself. Look at it, nutria coming from nutrients, also natural compounds and how that's affecting our genetic expression. Biohacking was another word that I really had to adopt because I wasn't all about that. I was like, okay, as a Native Hawaiian, as somebody as an Indigenous practitioner, I really didn't resonate with that word. I was like, okay, that sounds like somebody just made that up in a scientific lab, and it doesn't, you know, I don't resonate with this. When I understood that biohacking really just meant that I get to take control over what my healthy outcome looks like by the choices I make, I was like, I've been biohacking pretty much all my life, you know, biohacking my environment, my surroundings, biohacking, you know, my choices of not going to McDonald's and actually, you know, cooking a healthy meal, whatever it is, you know, going for that run instead of, you know, sitting down. So all of these things add to the quality of our lives. And how we're going to talk about how we do it at LifeVantage is we biohack mainly through these, I'm going to highlight right now, these 3 theories of aging. And this is our Protandim family of synergizers. So we call it the Tri-Synergizer. So I often get this question as I coach, you know, as a nutrigenomics coach, as well as a, you know, kind of a Hawaiian functional medicine coach. I get this question, well, why isn't my diet and supplements enough? That's what I was asking, right? Well, it's because of this. We're looking now at activation versus supplementation. So let's take a look at that. I can tell you, please consume foods rich in high in proteins and amino acids. Definitely high in antioxidants and cruciferous foods. Get in your kales, your leafy greens, you know, your broccoli. Definitely sulfur-rich foods. We already kind of know all of this, right? And then antioxidants. When we really break that down and look at it, I also like to share with people that it doesn't matter how many antioxidants that we can get through our supplements or through our nutrition, we, in order to do the same effect of synergistically blending our herbs to actually affect our rate of turning on our body's antioxidants, making our own, guys, we would have to drink, I like this part, 89 glasses of red wine. I would not like that tomorrow. 375 fresh oranges, 11 pounds of blueberries, 15 pounds of dark chocolate. Honestly, these are real stats to actually boost our body's ability to actually fight off the sextillion amounts of free radicals coming to us daily. That's daily. Okay, so it's like this scenario here. We're taking you know, one free radical, and then you take one antioxidant. It cancels each other out. Well, the sextillion amounts of free radicals is like the raging fire on the right. So it's like taking a little Dixie cup of water and putting it on this raging fire. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen day to day. So guess what? We get to biohack our bodies and actually put in our bodies the tools that our body needs to do its job the way that we're intended to do. That's all we're sharing today. It's so amazing. I get so excited. Somebody's not on mute. So you can just look down on your left-hand corner and mute your button there. So let's see here. Turmeric, milk thistle, green tea, bacopa, ashwagandha. You probably have heard of these. You may not have heard of these. I was unaware of what bacopa really did for us. But like I said, synergistically blended, they are 1,800 times more effective. So what we can say, guys, is that we lower oxidative stress by an average of 40% within 30 days, up to 120% within 70 days, 70% within 120 days, sorry, dyslexic moment. But what I also like to point out is it increases our master antioxidants, and most notably is this glutathione here. It increases it. This is a study, and I'll show you that in a minute. A study done by doctors actually published that says that Protandim increases our body's ability to actually promote glutathione by 300%. That is huge, huge. So these are some of the things that it does. I also like to point out, I can't tell you what it's going to do for you and your body. I can't tell you that it's going to cure, mitigate, treat, or do anything other than upregulate and also downregulate, balance out your survival genes. So your body's ability to actually turn on those survival genes are activated through this amazing breakthrough. So it helps to repair the body, rejuvenate its own cells, slow down the aging process, like we're talking about theories of aging. It supports the body's natural anti-inflammatory. You can see the rest here. So absolutely amazing. So let's take it back to oxidative stress here for a second. When we look, you know, and people are like, okay, well, how does this apply to me? This is a lot of information, and you know, I don't know how this applies to me. Well, guess what? You probably either are affected by one of these here on the right, or know somebody that is deeply affected by one of these on the right. 250 illnesses and diseases are actually the root cause of these diseases can be actually addressed by addressing our oxidative stress. So you can put together the two dots, okay? And we always say, don't take our word for it. Do your research. We did, I did. I was like, you ain't telling me nothing, you know? And I went on pubmed.gov. That's PUBMED.gov. And if I said that too quickly, somebody can throw it in the chats or get with the person that introduced you to this. PubMed.gov is basically the National Institute of our Library of Medical Libraries. So when doctors go to research anything, I mean, from blueberries, the effects of blueberries to, you know, the effects of the latest pharma drug on COVID, guess what? This is where they go to, PubMed.gov. And PubMed.gov is telling us that oxidative stress is related to over 250 illnesses and diseases. And guess what we do? We help to reduce that. That's why I'm excited. So American Heart Association, these are some of the individual independent studies. So we had nothing to do with these studies. They heard about the technology that Dr. McCord and his team of doctors came up with, and back in 2005 when it was really released, and they said, oh my gosh, this is, wait, look at this, what it says. Washington State University says NRF2 activation is potentially the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. That is amazing, back in 2015. So let's quickly go through the rest of this here. We just went over NRF2, as you see in the bottom path. We activated that pathway by those 5 herbs. Now we're going to talk about real briefly, the NRF1 pathway in our Tri-Synergizer. And that also signals that pathway. If you can imagine, this little yellow cell is, circle here as the herbs that all natural herbs that we're activating. That actually travels on this pathway, again, rings that doorbell, turns on that switch, and tells our bodies to do you know, the things that pathway is responsible for. So NRF1 pathway, like the NRF2 pathway, when you flip that switch, it does a little something. And what this does is amazing. It boosts our body's ability to actually increase the rate of which our mitochondria function. All natural herbs again, guys. And when we talk about mitochondria, I love pointing this out before I move on to the next week. It improves our sleep quality, cellular repair, cognitive and brain health, supports circulatory and cardiovascular systems. Huge. So when you look at mitochondria being 95% of our body's energy, when we're going for that like low in the day, that brain fog, guess what? That's all of our mitochondria. Do you know that our weight is 10% mitochondria? That's crazy. That's how much mitochondria we have in the day. So when we can boost that function, guess what? We're sleeping better because our bodies are they're doing their repair more quickly and efficiently, so we can sleep better. That's huge for a lot of people. And then secondly, we're really, our reserves then are not repairing our bodies at night, but they're actually moving at a vibration where we have more energy. I always laugh that my energy was like, dude, I actually feel like cleaning the house today, you know? So it was kind of fun. So, and then as we move into NAD, our last pathway that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to do this real quickly. NAD, again, is a molecule that's found in, this is kind of the background on it. NAD is actually found in our cells, okay? When the doctors and researchers, Dr. David Sinclair in particular, did his research for 20, 25 years, I believe, he found through studying intermittent fasting and caloric restriction, and I'm talking caloric restriction, we're talking like 500 to 800 calories, he said, for long periods of time, which sounds absolutely miserable. I mean, that's less than sometimes one of our meals, you know. But when that happened, what happened was our body went into boop, 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 survival mode. And when that NAD started to increase, because it says, oh my gosh, we're in survival mode, we're in survival mode, the NAD increased. It actually fed now what we know as the family of sirtuins. The family of sirtuins are known as our guardian angel of our cells, or our CEO, or some people like to call it the mama of our cells. Goes the when the when the sirtuins are fed by this NAD molecule, the sirtuins can go into the cell. How's this? Pull apart the DNA, actually find out what's defunct, fix it, put it all back together, and then it cleans house and sends it on its merry way. I have athletes, pro athletes on this, bragging about how their recovery rate, one is a UFC fighter, the recovery rate like increased by like 30 seconds. And he only has a minute before he has to recover. So that 30 seconds of actually calming his heart rate down and recovering faster allows his mind to actually take in the information and cool down so that he has more reserves to go back into the ring. Huge, huge, huge. This is something that's new on the market and you probably haven't even heard of. Our specific all natural product actually increases our NAD within 24 hours, then increases the sirtuin activity by 100% within 24 hours. Even with some of the competing NAD products out there, nobody can even come close to the results that we've gotten, because we're activating our bodies. It's absolutely amazing. So at the end of the day, guys, this is what it's all about. Antioxidants, we're boosting our immune system, we're detoxifying, okay? Because we are no longer supplementing our deficiencies. We are no longer chasing our tails. We are literally activating our pathways to control the aging and healing processes. That's just one, Dr. Brimhall is just one of 2,000 plus medical professions on our, in our team at LifeVantage, because they saw the light. They can actually reach out to more people and help more people by helping them to activate. Because at the end of the day, this is exactly what we want. We want to live with healthy memories with the people we love, in health and in joy. So that's invaluable to us. So with this being invaluable to us, don't you think that investing a little bit into your life, back into your health repertoire and into your routine really is advantageous for us to live that longer lifespan? This is how we do it through LifeVantage. So we don't have a lot of products, but we have key products, okay? Anti-aging. We take the gut flora and our gut microbiome very seriously. We actually take that into our weight management system. It's amazing. Ask the person that got back to you. Nootropics, I can't speak enough of it. I've got my Axia right now. That's taking that same technology, that NRF2 technology, and it's protecting my brain. And it's helping me to actually do better, feel better. No brain fog. I have a little bit of smart energy and no crash. And then, of course, our skin being our largest organ, we have hair care. We take that same science into our hair care and also into our skin care. And pets. Pets are a huge part of our heart opening, our overall well-being. And anything that breathes oxygen is really going to benefit from taking our NRF2 pathway product. So how do we get started? Like I said, it's time to invest. I urge you to please give it at least 30 days. If not 30 days, what I'd like to see is the doctors on our team say a month for every decade that you've been alive. So I'm closer to 50. So 5 months, I should really know what my body's going to do with the information that it's given through these synergistically blended for herbs. $127.99 a month. You might say, oh my gosh, we're falling upon hard times right now. Yes, we are. But that's $4.17 per month, per day, in order for you to actually feel better so that you don't have to pay at the end of the day. And when you're feeling better, you do more. You might be more productive. I mean, there's so many different scenarios, the guys, that I could get into, and I don't want to take more of your time. But another way that I like to share is if you don't want to do that $127.99 a month, or you are thinking, yes, I want to do that. And I want to do that not only for myself, but I want to do that for my family, or I want to just really experience all of this. This is the way to go. You can just bundle and save right now. We have packs that are starting from $350, packs that are, where you can get literally you could live off of that pack for probably the next 3-4 months off of $12.50. You save up to 30%. It's huge. It's a great investment. And what it comes with is a little bit of a sample kit, because guess what? 60% of our customers want to share this with their friends and family. And, you know, however they do that and why they do that is their own. But if you want to look at joining arms like I decided to do, our company is rapidly growing and always expanding. We're almost in a little over 24 countries, I'm going to say, and we're going to be opening up further countries this year as well. So please get back with the person that, you know, that invited you, if that is something that, you know, helps you to survive and thrive, right? So let me get out of here. I'm going to stop my share. And if anybody has any questions, I'm so happy to, oops, I'm so happy to answer them. Any specific, you know, ailments, any specific, you know, something that comes up or how it relates, you know, or if you want to stay on afterwards or jump on with me, you know, on another call, please let me know. We have a lot of beautiful, educated people. The nice thing is you don't have to be me. You know, I get to share this because it's my passion. But what we love is when you commit to, please let somebody know that you love. You know, my mom's dealing with cancer, and every single day I'm so thankful that she is at least helping out her good cells, you know, to while she's, you know, undergoing chemo for the rest of her life, honestly. So that's how passionate I am. And I hope that you see my passion and you realize that I'm not trying to get you to sell anything. I'm trying to get you to take a look at what you can do for your mind and your body. And, you know, if you're interested, your pocketbook. Because, I mean, that's not really what it's about for me. But it's a beautiful added benefit of people that I love. I have hundreds of people that I've met because of this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous heart motivated company. So Kelly being one of them up there, she survived a traumatic brain injury in the most huge way. So please ask for that video when she shared. It was absolutely, I don't think there was a dry eye in the room. So thank you for all of your testimonies. And again, if you have any questions, let me look. Share the love, that's right. All right, well, I will see you guys next week. If anybody else wants to, you know, join us next week, you know, if that all went over your head, I get it. If you want to join in on a call, if you're more the person that actually likes to hear testimonies, because you're like, I'm not the science person, we have a Wednesday call at 12 noon Hawaii time. We also have a beautiful, unique call that's coming up on this next Tuesday at 9:00 a.m. Hawaii time. And we're really gearing it. Lonnie and Alana are going to be sharing from a caregiver's point of view. Whether or not you're, you know, a caregiver now or you're going to be eventually a caregiver later, we take on a lot. So please tune in on how you can actually give back to your body as a caregiver. So love you. Aloha. Yes, I'll stay on in a minute. Oh, stop recording. Sure.